in the spirit of the MLB lockout, we took what 2 weeks off, a week off.
Took some
I think.
time. We went away.
I mean, I figured they were doing nothing. We might as well do nothing, right? So now they're back at it and they're actually negotiating. So I figure we might as well get back at it as well.
We had a Super Bowl hangover, if you
We
will.
did have quite the Super Bowl hangover. We had a good
I
Super Bowl
don't
though.
I don't think that we have potted since.
No, we'd never talked about the Super Bowl.
So that's fun.
So yeah, we obviously we missed a lot because we missed the talking about the Super Bowl, which was a good game, fun to watch.
All the All-Star breaks too.
No? All the All-Star breaks happened. Nobody watched because they all suck. What else happened? Oh, the Olympics.
Donaldson said about the
that was fantastic.
That was beautiful.
I'm 100% with Donaldson on that. Like, absolutely. The only game that actually matters is baseball. That's it. Everything else sucks.
But he said to keep hockey too.
I don't agree with that part. That's not that.
No,
hockey sucks, man.
I mean,
like the All-Star game
is somewhat interesting, but you can't expect it to be close, you know?
It's just not good. It's not good hockey. It's not worth it.
And what do you want? You want a shootout?
I want the skills competition, and that's it.
And that's it. They go home.
Yep. Don't do the game. It just sucks.
Just give him a break.
But he's right. Baseball's got the best game. It's the only one where you can actually go 100% and not be worried about it. Everything else is like you don't want to tear something or pull something or get hurt. Football, you're never going to have a good game unless it's like I saw a really good suggestion. It's like you take the two bottom teams and they just like play each other for the number 1 overall pick. I'm like, I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
Because at least it gives
like almost like a round, like just one game, or would you do
just one game. Just like, or you could do like bottom 4 and do like a 2-week tournament thing. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, but like depending on who it is, then you have the possibility of throwing, you know?
True. Yeah.
So
I don't know. But like but then whoever like it would go in order, like so whoever wins
if
the
you
tournament,
win it, you get the first.
Yeah. So it wouldn't go the other direction. It would go like say the Jags win the little tournament thing, they get the first overall pick, which I kind of like that because then you can't fully
like
tank
for it. Yeah, you're fighting for it. I get that. Almost like the relegation, like not to be kicked out.
Mm-hmm. I think you could still name Pro Bowlers, I think, but I just don't think you need to have the Pro Bowl anymore. We've moved past the need for a Pro Bowl in the world.
I guess the way it would suck is that if you had like this horrible season, by far you should be getting the first pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then you lose that game too because you're just that terrible.
Yep. So I think that kind of it neutralizes the tanking aspect because like you have to be good enough to win games, but like you don't want to win all the games. Like I think it'd be more fun. It'd be way more interesting.
Are teams trying to tank still though? Like have we seen? I don't know if there's actually
football, not so much. I don't think. Like there's a lot of like hockey. There's teams that obviously tank. Baseball, big one.
And they tried to change the odds to like the what is it? The draft lottery to make it so that even if you do come in last, it's not like a full-blown guarantee that you're going to get the first overall pick.
No. Hockey's a weird one though because you can get like any of the top 5 picks and you're probably going to get somebody good. Obviously, you're not going to get like the McDavids or the Matthews or something like that if you don't have the first overall pick.
NFL, you could go like rounds because there's just so many positions that you draft through. You go rounds before you get your guy. Even.
I think that's why you don't really tank in the NFL because it doesn't really matter where you finish. You're getting somebody good.
Yeah. Like
it's not always the best player in the draft is the first overall pick. Like it doesn't happen all that much, right? But yeah, it is what it is. I feel like it'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. Obviously, there's some ridiculous shit going on in Ukraine right now. I really don't have much to say on it, but fuck Russia because like I don't get like obviously I'm not well versed in the subject and I don't really know why they're doing what they're doing. But regardless of what they're
say, fuck Russia.
Yeah, regardless of what they're doing, there's no reason for this. And like,
it's not all of them though. For the record, it's not.
No. Obviously, there's some people like there was 1,700 people that got arrested for protesting, which like, hey, awesome, good for you guys.
Yeah.
If you were the idiots downtown Ottawa a couple weeks ago and you see that and still think you're not free, I think you're a fucking idiot. Because like that's the definition of a tyrant and like communism. Like they are taking their protesting people and throwing them in jail. And Russian jail, not quite as nice as our jails. I'm gonna level with you. You're not making it out of Russian jail.
You have been to Russian jail though?
No. I have had the privilege of never attending a Russian prison. However, I know not good. Yeah. So
yeah, it's crazy. Eh? and wild. Even still, like the economical impact that's going to have afterwards, right? A lot of people are pulling, like, even down to the sports teams. I was saying, like, now they're pulling sponsorships, they're pulling, funding from them.
Formula One pulled I think it's called the Russian Grand Prix. I'm not 100% sure.
The World Cup changed.
Did it?
I think it was either World Cup or Champions League final. I think maybe Champions League final. They changed.
In the KHL, there's a team in, I think it's Helsinki, it's Jokerit, whatever it is. They're from Finland, regardless. And they decided they're not going to play in the playoffs because of what Russia's doing. And because most of the teams are Russian, right, in the KHL. But there's a couple teams like Jokerit that's in Finland.
Right.
And they're just deciding, like, no, we're not playing. Like, we're boycotting this one. I'm like, hey, all respect to that. Now, the one thing that I'm kind of a little dicey on is IIHF is supposed to have the World Juniors there next year. Now, everybody else is on board with, like, nah, you guys are not getting shit because what you're doing is wrong, except for the IIHF.
Say right now, yeah, they're kind of maybe to see how it unfolds.
Even their statement that they put out really didn't condemn what Russia did. It was just like, oh yeah, war is bad. We shouldn't have war. What's going on in Ukraine is bad. But, like, never said anything condemning Russia or, like, anything to do with Russia. And, like, I get it a little bit, but there's a lot of countries that are in your thing that aren't Russia. If you lose Russia, it's not that big a deal. So I don't know.
Like, the Olympics in a way have lost Russia from not allowing them to be there as, like, a country, right? It's the Olympic athletes.
I mean,
of Russia. So, like, they lost it, but they didn't, right?
No, they're still there. So they're still cheating.
But
we didn't even fucking get a chance to talk about that Russian figure skater girl.
That 15-year-old or whatever. Yeah. Crazy. It started young.
I don't even know where to start with that one. I guess we can transition off of Russia because, like, obviously you and I are not.
This is the easiest transition into Russia. This is just going to show you what kind of people.
Yeah, like, they got their entire program suspended from the Olympics because they were doping, and it was well known. There's documentaries about it, really good ones actually. Icarus, fantastic documentary. That explains everything that happened. So yeah, it happened. It's a thing that they do. We all know that. They all got banned for it. Then you have this 15-year-old figure skater who tested positive months before, I might add, at this world championship thing. And they ended up letting her compete anyways, which wild for starters. And then she comes to the Olympics and tests positive again after winning the gold in the team event, mind you. And she tests positive, which, yeah, she's 15. I get that. She knows what she's doing. They all know what they're doing at that point. Like, they're trained in how to beat these tests, and she knows that she took it, but she's beating the test.
Even still, if you want to say that you turned a blind eye to it and you didn't know, like, that you still have to be held accountable in some way. Like, you should be aware of what's going in your body as an athlete, right? Exactly. So, no matter what you say, you're still accountable for it. For me, like, I'm not buying that. It's just, I didn't know, and I didn't realize type deal.
No, that's garbage, especially when you're coming from Russia, who is known for this and known for trying to beat tests, and they couldn't beat this one. Now she tested positive. And they just said, oh, sorry, slap on the wrist. Which, like, okay, you know what? If you have precedent for that, fine. But if you look literally last year, I can't remember the girl's name. There's a U.S. Track runner that got suspended from the games, didn't get to go, who was like a medal favorite. I'll try and pull up her name. But she got banned from the games for smoking weed. So that was her drug that send her away from the games.
Is that then you have a performance enhancer? I'm just going to tell you right now, my performance is absolutely enhanced for this podcast. I am enhanced in the performance department because of that.
Sha'Carri Richardson is the name I'm looking for. Sha'Carri Richardson missed the entire Olympics because she was smoking weed. Meanwhile, you have this Russian Olympian, different color skin, I might add, not suspended for taking performance enhancers that actually helped her win a gold. No punishment.
The Russians have cheated before too, right? Like,
absolutely.
02 Salt Lake City. They got to that judge.
Like,
I want to watch that. I'm going to watch that documentary soon.
They're known for this.
Oh yeah, it's like
they're not even called DNA. Russia anymore.
Just like not you don't want to lose, so it's almost like by any means necessary, right?
They're not even called Russia anymore because of this. It's the Russian Olympic, whatever the hell it's called. I don't care. And they are known for this. And one of them got caught doing it.
The Russian
and because
Olympic
she's a
Committee,
child,
is it?
Yeah, ROC,
Something
that's
like
what it is.
that,
Yeah, you're right. Because she's a child, they said, no, it's okay. She'll be fine. She'll learn. She's not going to fucking learn. She's going to learn that she can get away with this.
She'll grow.
Like, oh, my God.
She'll be good.
That's so frustrating.
I know.
I'm so pissed off. I'm so pissed off for Sha'Carri Richardson, man.
But no one, I don't think anybody is really surprised at what's happening. I think what's great is to see the lack of support, right? The support in being the opposition.
Yeah.
So, if we can't say anything about it, we can really say that we're not really in fear of this boiling over to a point where there's major lines drawn in the sand, right? No. So they really need to come back. Even some of their highest athletes, right? The tennis player who wrote "No War, Please" on the camera. They had Ovechkin who came out and said, please just know what, everybody's in agreement with that, right?
That's such a weird situation with Ovechkin because everyone just started berating Ovechkin because he used to support Putin. And I'm like, yeah, I get that that's a problem.
But they did that even when Brady was friends with Trump and that became the opposition, right? You look for that common denominator, and especially when you're in the media, you find that. Yeah.
Now the problem with going after Ovechkin for the Putin stuff is I'd be afraid of Vladimir Putin if I had family and living in Russia. There's some shady shit that goes on in Russia. And if my whole family is back there, I'm not going to go out and say anything about that man.
It's a different kind of world, that's.
Yeah. It's not like me speaking out about Trudeau here. It's a lot different. I could talk for hours and hours about what I think of our current situation. And even in the States, if you're living in the States and you're talking about the presidents, nothing's going to happen to you. You have that right to speak out against the people in charge of our countries. Russia's not the same. It's absolutely a little different, especially if you're in a place of power.
For sure. And if you do speak out, you put your life at risk,
Exactly.
If you don't fall in line and you're the opposition, for sure. It's very, very scary over there for a lot of people. You hear stories, and I'm sure there's some truth to them, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, is supporting him a bad idea? I think so right from the beginning, but in terms of safety of his family and himself, I wouldn't be saying things against him if I'm a Russian citizen.
I think they're just kind of saying generally no war. Let's not do this. Let's carry on. We're just about to get out of a global pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just not do this. Yeah. Especially because Ovechkin's safe. He's in the States. He's not. Vladimir Putin's not coming to the States to abduct Alex Ovechkin and take him home. It's not a thing. You're not making it in.
Bold move.
So he's safe. So saying things for him has no benefit. It's just he's fine, but his family is still over there, and that's one of those things. It's a dicey conversation, and hey, I respect the guys that are speaking up against it, but I don't disrespect the guys that aren't. I understand where your thought process is if you're not speaking out against Vladimir Putin. Now, if you're not from Russia, I think you should be, but if you're from Russia, I get it. What do we got? The NHL. We can transition into that.
It's rolling along.
The Leafs are having a time. I don't know how to describe it other than that. Sometimes they look like they're the best team in the NHL. Other times they look like they're playing the worst team in the NHL and can't compete with them.
They, you know what though? It's always with Montreal. It just seems.
They're just their kryptonite
because they've got nothing to lose, and you do as the Toronto Maple Leafs every single game, and
there's no winning that one.
Yeah, and they're flourishing a bit in a new system, right? With Martin St. Louis and Cole Caulfield. They've really understood.
He's loving it, eh?
Yeah, they've really understood how to get him going, and that's a great thing because that's where a lot of their success was, right? Was on their young kids producing, right? Their playoff success was that.
Yeah.
So I think that, they're always going to be a team that competes and, even though they're doing bad, I don't know if their team is just if it tells the same story as their record, right? You lose your
they're bad.
They are bad, but
they're not a very well-built team,
but they can go on runs.
But they can do this.
They've shown that exactly. And they are rebuilding, but that's what makes them pesky, just because they just literally have nothing to lose. And they know that you have everything to lose. And Montreal's always done this against the Leafs. This is a team that struggles with a ton of pressure, not they don't struggle with pressure, but when it's like an over, like when the margin for error is so little there.
Yeah.
Right?
They can handle the big games in the regular season when it's like you're playing the top team. You can beat them, no problem. Yeah. But when it gets down to like the rivalry games and the playoff situations, it's a little different with this team. You're right.
One thing, like the Leafs love to, I think, slow the puck down and really have control of it and set up their plays. Whereas like Montreal just gets in there and makes you rush that extra little second that you're not ready for, right? The Leafs have really good puck moving players. They have guys who can see a lot of the ice. They've shown that, as you said, they're one of the best teams at times because they can move that puck all over without the other team really touching it. But then when you're forced to rush that an extra little second or two and you get out of your rhythm, which is like what Montreal does, they're there.
They're just a pain in the ass.
They're at every puck. Yeah. And man, like this is a territory that Jack Campbell's never been to, right? We've always kind of said that. But this is going to show you kind of what he's deserving of when the offseason comes, because are you that backup or are you that starter now, right?
Yeah. He's now set a career high in wins, which is basically he's played a hell of a lot more games than he usually does, and we're just over halfway through. It's this is where you make your money if you're Jack Campbell. I think you're right. Like obviously he hasn't been great the last couple of weeks, but there's been times where you're like, it's still Jack Campbell. Like that Pittsburgh game was one of his best games of the year.
You're worried about wins and quality of wins too, right? You got to like Pittsburgh is another team that's going for a playoff. They're
in the playoffs.
So exactly. So you got to take that win and say, and even Minnesota, right? Minnesota is a team that competes.
Yep.
And you held your own in there. I think that was Peter Mrazek in that.
Yeah, Mrazek looked good there too.
Yeah, which is great, which is what you kind of want, right?
You're kind of hoping for a little more consistency out of either one of them right now.
That makes you not worried about why they traded for Carter Hutton. You know what I mean? Like that's
what a weird move.
But that was almost like the Michael Hutchinson, when they trade for him back and they get him and he's like on the team, because you're like, why is he on the team? We shouldn't.
It's a depth move, I guess. It's emergency, but like he doesn't hold the jock of either one of them, even when they're playing bad.
No,
so
absolutely not.
I thought it was strange.
Yeah, but it's just another depth piece in case you run into, I guess, a bit of injury.
Yeah, you could run into a lot of injury troubles real quick.
Yeah. And like I said, though, Jack Campbell is in an area now where he's never been before. So I think that is kind of what they're saying. Like we do believe in Jack in the sense we're not getting another starting goalie.
No.
But if something goes wrong, then you know what, Mrazek,
we have the
reins and we have a backup, right? That was the whole point of Mrazek, was like if something goes wrong, Mrazek. It's
a great tandem, and he's a great backup when you need it.
And you're in that point now in the season too, where you're not asking them to run a full season.
No,
right? They're kind of getting in the groove, hopefully.
They're doing a lot more back and forth the last few games. Like you're seeing a lot more of like Jack than Pete.
Yeah,
which I think they should be doing. I think they should.
Absolutely. I thought that was the intention to begin with.
Yeah,
I think
keeps them both fresh.
I think that's also in a way, as a Toronto organization, how you limit what Jack Campbell can ask for.
Yeah,
like you can't
like
say
you weren't the starter.
Exactly. If he comes in and says, look, I started these many games, I won this many, my save percentage is here, we did this.
If you have him start 68 games, it's kind of like, well, he was our horse.
You're gonna have to pay him big money, right? You might shave $2 million off just from playing him less games. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
I think this is what they wanted to do, right? This is what we kind of said going into the offseason going into this season when they signed Peter Mrazek.
Yeah. I'm less and less concerned about the goalie situation day by day, because I just think now that they're splitting it and like they're both healthy, I think you're going to see them kind of get back to form a little bit, because like Mrazek, he hasn't been healthy yet. So you can't really judge Pete Mrazek for what he's done, because you just really don't know. Jack, on the other hand, has played 105 games already somehow, and he's just gassed. Like, it is what it is. He needs a break, and I think having Peter Mrazek back and healthy, where he can come in and be a legitimate starting goaltender, I think it's going to be better for both of them, because they both get time and they'll both be at the top of their game. That's how I see it. Anyways, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they both just suck. Who knows? But I don't see that happening.
I'm also enticed by the trade rumors going around, and I think that they need to pull the trigger. I favor one over the other. And I think that they need to pull the trigger on it, because like if the Raptors have taught me anything, it's you need to make a big move, even if it's just for that 1 year, right? Yeah. You're worried about winning a championship one year at a time, and you worry about the rest in the offseason, right?
Yeah.
Kawhi came and said, I'm going to give you my best year, and we'll worry about the rest in the offseason. And sure enough, everybody did exactly what they said.
Yeah.
and we won a championship.
Now,
so why can't we do the same?
I don't personally know if there's anyone out there that pushes the needle enough for me to be like, yeah, let's give up everything we've got.
No, I'm not saying everything, but
no, I know, but
the names that are going around, they're gonna need to be like a piece
expensive,
where you kind of question like, is it gonna be worth giving up that piece, right? And it's only gonna tell when you get into the playoffs, right? So
now Ben Sherrod's a name that's been thrown around. I don't think he's worth the price.
Not my name.
I don't even think he's close.
No.
JT Miller's been thrown around. I think he's worth the sun and the moon.
I think he's good. I just don't know where the offense is lacking, where he needs to come in and do that, right? I'm worried about what you have to give up to get him. Sure. And like the offense, man, is pretty darn good. Bunting has done an excellent job as a 26-year-old rookie. That's a check that one off.
Leads rookies in goals.
Perfect
for the lead, but still
keep that.
Unbelievable. That's amazing. At $900,000, that's fantastic.
Yeah, now, getting rid of Richie helped as well. I think like
you get off of that contract, and then DeZingle gets claimed, so you get 1.1 million or whatever it was, also just like for free, basically.
Yep.
And then Jake Muzzin takes that hit, which was frightening to watch, knowing he's coming off the concussion. But it puts him on LTIR, and as we've seen in the past and currently with the Vegas Golden Knights, like that opens up a lot of options for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They opened up like $6 million.
You're trying to tell me we're going to the Tampa Bay route?
I think they might be. And I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be.
Right. I'm saying that this is a definite option for sure.
Absolutely,
right?
It is. It should be the only option
for sure.
Like nobody ever wants to see someone get hurt, but
you don't
Jake Muzzin got hurt.
Oh yeah.
So we're in a situation where they have that option to do that.
And if he comes back in the playoffs, that's a whole different game. That's a game that's way more competitive, way more physical.
I'm here for letting Jake Muzzin sit the season because you have $6 million to pick up basically any trade bait you want. Because JT Miller is under that deal. You have guys like Klingberg that's under there, Manson's under there. I'm trying to think of other D-men. Luke Schen's an easy one because he's like 900,000.
Yeah. So but for me, I think Klingberg is the one for me. I think that he's been a top line D-man before. Mm-hmm. So with the potential of just him being a top 4 and a 1-year deal, and then you worry about stuff in the off season, like I've said, right? Like
he's just a replacement piece for now. Like
exactly. And that to me is a guy that's a really good replacement because he has a pretty high ceiling, and I don't think that the bottom is that far from what you would need to trade. Right. No. I think no matter what, he's going to fit into the system.
Yeah.
I think he should be priority 1. And then maybe you're right, Miller, like 2, right? If you can't get defense, then the best defense is an even better offense, right?
I'm not fully engulfed in going to get JT Miller. I love JT Miller. Like as someone who cheers for Vancouver, I love JT Miller.
I think he's a great addition to the team. Like any team he goes to, right? He was great in Tampa Bay. He's great in Vancouver, for sure.
But they're asking for a lot. And rightfully so. I think he's worth a lot. There's a lot of Leaf fans that are like, oh, they're asking more than what Eichel got. I'm like, yeah, Jack Eichel should have got more than what Jack Eichel got.
That's not, that's not their fault for Buffalo being a dumbass.
Just because Buffalo botched the trade doesn't mean Vancouver has to. And Eichel wanted out. JT Miller wants to play in Vancouver. They want JT Miller in Vancouver. They think they're still competing.
It's very hard to convince a player to play for your team when he wants out of there. And then it's really a message to the league as well. Like, you know what? The player has all the pull.
They don't want to trade JT Miller.
No,
they want JT Miller. JT Miller wants to be a Canuck. They want him to be a Canuck. But if they can get 2 top prospects, a roster player, and a draft pick, then they make that trade.
Of course they're going to take
because they'd be stupid not to.
Right.
Now, if you're the Leafs, I don't know if you want to make that trade.
And you know what it is too? The trades of like Goudreau and Coleman years prior, where it's like first round picks, second, like where you're giving up high picks because you need to, like that then drives guys like JT Miller, who are a step or 2 above that, up, right? Their price goes up as well. So you're going to need a lot.
Nick Foligno went for a first round pick.
Exactly. It takes a lot to compete in this NHL, and it's going to cost a lot to compete in the NHL, right?
Yeah. If they don't want to pay that price, they don't want to pay that price. Plain and simple.
And that's the thing. I almost think Toronto's been kind of hesitant to make that over the top trade. They have a lot of homegrown talent there now. One of their biggest trades was getting Freddie Anderson, right? Which was like a deal and a half. Everyone was like, how the hell did we just pull that off? And And then we kind of just for like really nothing, you know.
Nothing.
There was a lot of players where I think Burke traded from Anaheim to get over here, or there was deals with Anaheim that we got some really good players at the time.
Wild.
Right. For nobodies. And then we kind of stopped trading, which made sense because they wanted to build from within. Shanahan said that. He goes, we need to build a culture here first before.
And I think they've done a good job of it.
Now it's time, now it's time to get rid of some of that culture to bring in bigger players that are going to help you. Right.
Now, here's the flip side of it is that like everyone's looking at this team, and every time they end up losing in the playoffs, everyone's like, oh, they need to rebuild this team. They need to like retool and regroup this whole group. And like, you can't do that unless you have guys like Matthew Knees and Topi Niemela and Roni Hirvonen. Like, you need those guys in your system if you think that this is not the team to do it. And I honestly think this front office is looking at it like this is our last go. And if it doesn't work, we need to make some changes. And I think you can't make those changes if you've gotten rid of all the changes.
That's the thing. You need to have pieces to move out, to bring things in, because free agency only works so far, right?
Yeah. I think this is a go for it year. I don't think this is a gut the team and go for it year. I think this is a year where you're trusting your guys to figure out how to get over that hump.
And that's where I do like Klingberg, 1 year at 4 something, it fits within your cap. You can still even go out and get something else. And his price can't be too high because there's not as much term on it. So
no, and he wants out. And I think you can get rid of one of those guys. Like I would understand getting rid of one of your prospects, like the lower tier. But when you're talking about getting rid of like a Liljegren and a Niemela with some picks and like Justin Hall, I think you're getting a little bit too steep on what you're.
Justin Hall can go at for sure.
Absolutely, I'll get rid of Justin Hall for free.
It's funny, man. Everybody is on that dude's case, but like you look at some numbers, they just they don't line up as much, which is weird. But he
painful to watch.
I think everyone's done. He's getting the treatment now.
He literally dropped past it to the what game was that? It wasn't Minnesota. It was the one before. Was it Montreal? It was definitely Montreal. He sent a drop pass to Ren Pitlick that just sent him on a breakaway. Like, he's at the blue line and he just drops it back to Ren Pitlick, who's just burning him already, and he just hands it to him and away he goes. Almost took out Mrazek in the process. I'm like,
nice.
He's just not good anymore.
No, he's not.
Justin Hall was a serviceable 6'7" D-man, and I really liked him then. Now that they're trying to like shoehorn him into this role, it's painful. And Travis Dermott's doing better than him.
I know. And it was really painful too when who was it? McCann?
Okay.
The team when they traded and then he left.
They didn't protect him, but they protected Justin Hall. Like, you could have got off that contract for free.
It gave them more cap space for sure. Again, a little like nickel and dime for cap space. Yeah. But it was pretty tough.
It's painful. Like I know Justin Hall's a good guy and I like him, the person, but as a D-man on this team right now, it's just not working. It is what it is. He's not a piece that they need. There's teams that could use him for something, maybe for a rebuild. I don't know, but he's not a piece that the Leafs can use right now. And I think getting rid of him is an ideal move, but he doesn't have a lot of value.
That's the thing, is that you'd be getting rid of him for like just the money space. It would be that's it.
Cap deal. Yeah. So it's tough. You're basically looking at trading out of your prospect pool, and like our prospect pool is not deep. It's strong. I think that it's top heavy, but it's not deep. And I think that's where you're going to run into troubles. But I guess we'll see coming up. But Kyle Dubas knows what he's doing, man. Like, he's not an idiot.
He brought in a very, very good job to get the Leafs here.
He somehow turned that Nick Ritchie deal into pieces, which is incredible to say the least. I don't think Ilya Lyubushkin is the guy that makes a difference on this team, but like, he's a piece and he's already playing more minutes than Nick Ritchie has the past month. So it's the fact that he did that and got off of that $2.5 million deal is incredible. So I trust him. I trust him to make the move that he thinks is right. And if it works out, it works out. If we end up out in the first round again, what else is new? Who cares? It is what it is.
That's just the good old Leafs way.
Yeah. Austin Matthews. This is going to sound crazy. He's the best player in the NHL right now. I think Connor McDavid's still the most talented player in the NHL. I don't think there's ever going to be a dispute on that. He's the most talented player in the NHL. Austin Matthews is the best player in the NHL right now.
And he's proving it.
Yeah.
Night in and night out.
He dominates both sides of the ice.
If
he scores goals at will.
You got to watch.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to see this kid play.
His second goal against Minnesota, where he just like half back check, picked the pocket of the one guy and like waited for it to go back onside, pulled it in, passed it off, got the puck back and snipped it. I'm like, that's elite. Like, that's Mark Stone style defense with like Ovechkin shooting. Like, it's insane what this guy can do on both ends of the ice. Now,
and he's only like 25.
He's so young. Like, he's got so much more career ahead of him.
So like, good luck, league.
Like, it's wild. Connor McDavid does some things that blow my mind. Like, he's so fast, and his ability to make moves at that speed is untouchable. No one's ever going to be able to do that.
He almost looks like he never loses the puck. Like, the puck is always
it's wild. Yeah. But Austin Matthews can do the same thing without being that his puck possession is a joke. Like, you're not getting it from him if you want it. He's significantly bigger than McDavid. He's not fast. He's not a bad skater though. But he protects the puck. He's unbelievable defensively. He's unbelievable offensively. He's good 5-on-5. He's good on the power play. There's just nothing that he's not good at right now. And you look at McDavid and Draisaitl and guys like that, there's holes in those games. Draisaitl can't play defense worth a shit. Like, he's not even close to the same level. And then McDavid, he's getting better defensively. I'll give him that, but he's still not.
That system is not designed to be a defensive system, though. They've shown that time and time again, right? They outscore players.
It's run and gun and hope for the best.
Yeah, they outscore teams all the time. Even right now with Florida, they're being outshot, but they're winning 4-2, right? Like, it's not that they're trying to play defense. They just win games by scoring more.
Did Draisaitl scored, so now they're tied in the league lead.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
He scored on the power play.
Ho hum. So he's got 4 games in hand. Oh, power play too, because of course he did. Because he doesn't score 5-on-5. Whatever, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't think he wins the Hart this year, and I think there's a serious chance that Ilya Shesterkin wins it, or Igor.
I hope he does.
Igor Shesterkin wins the Hart because, like,
I hope he does.
He's carrying that garbage.
They need to give it to a goalie. They need to change up the league. Give it to Tendy.
He's carrying that team, which is insane.
He's doing the John Gibson before.
He's got a 940 save percentage.
Yeah, and that team should be way better than it is. Like, the fact that he has to carry that team is
crazy.
Ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Do we want to give a shout out to that prospect as well?
Which one's that?
The Leafs prospect that is going through.
Oh shit, Rodion Amirov.
Yes.
Rodion Amirov was also a name that got brought up in a lot of trade talks.
Right.
Obviously, this is a tough one for Rodion Amirov. If you didn't hear, he has a brain tumor. They haven't really said the severity of it. It seems like he's going to be okay because he's already skating. So that's really good news. But yeah, obviously you don't want to see that for a 20-year-old kid ever. The fact that
just got drafted in 2020 as well. Like, that's high pick.
Obviously the fact that he's a Leaf prospect makes this hit a little closer for us, but it doesn't matter who it is. Like, any 20-year-old kid, man, having to go through that at 20 years old is just painful. Having to go through that at any age is obviously terrible. But to be that young and have to deal with that already is just painful. So best wishes out to him. Hopefully he can get through this and at least get back to living a normal life. Whether or not he comes back as an elite hockey player or not is really not the point. If he can continue to live his life to the fullest after this, that's great. I mean, all the power absolutely. That's all you're looking for. Yeah, so that's tough news, but hopefully it seems like he's on the right track to get through this, and he's got a lot of support behind him, so hopefully he can get through it. I think that's it across the NHL. I know there's not much.
Well, come on, we need to go to the Super Bowl.
All right, we'll talk about the Super Bowl.
Because it was fucking good.
It's a good game.
It had everything you needed. It had the dramatic injury in Odell.
Yeah.
Which, like, after the touchdown too, like OBJ starts it, touchdown.
Yeah. And like that seems like your weapon for the day, because like Cooper Kupp's he's a weapon, obviously. He's Cooper the best
Kupp
receiver in the
draws
league.
So many eyes, that's
exactly. So I mean, it looks like you're going to Odell a few times. He's got 2 catches, and then on that second catch, he blows out his knee, and it looked bad right from the start.
Yeah. Especially when there's no contact, that's when you know that it's really bad. When no one touches you and you're in like the most agonizing pain of your life. Yeah.
Something happened. Yeah. So that was just like a damper to start the game. And then Cincinnati just looked like they were going to run away with it for a little bit there. They had a chance and they were doing okay. And then it just didn't work out. The Rams were just better.
It kind of happened, we saw the defense starting to get in the backfield, starting to get to Joe Burrow a lot quicker, right? The offense kind of stalled on the other side where Matt Stafford was able to figure some things out. and almost just like tire them out, right? Like that's what it was. It was a real marathon of a game. Even though
they
it was
did
only
exactly
23-20,
what they said what we said they do.
Yeah.
Realistically, they just got to Joe Burrow enough that it gave Matt Stafford enough time to be Matt Stafford.
Yeah. Even on the final play, you saw that they were in the backfield, man. He threw it nowhere and it was just so fast. Like you couldn't even run play action because as soon as you turn around, they're just already two all-stars there, right? So
yeah, it was a very anticlimactic ending too, because like
a little bit, yeah.
With the Bengals coming down the field, they didn't have to get very close for Evan McPherson to make that a game. And
I would have loved to see overtime again,
Yeah, it would have been way more fun. But like they didn't need to do much, and they couldn't even do that because that defense was just they were winning a championship. They didn't care, and it was a great game all around. I had fun. It was cool because I just didn't really care who won. And
I know it was a fun game. The halftime show too.
Yeah, the halftime show was really cool.
Good shout out to Eminem. Good on you for taking a knee.
Yeah,
which no one realized at the time because you got
I didn't even notice.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
because everybody's looking at Dre playing piano.
Yeah, that was the thing. It was like, I'm like, Dre plays piano? I'm like, wow. And I'm like watching that. And then after they're like, oh yeah, Eminem took a knee. I'm like, huh, didn't even notice. Good for him, I guess.
Great for him. So yeah, it was really fun. It was a really, like you said, though, it was kind of the game that we anticipated.
Yeah, it was a fun event all around. Like the game was fun. The halftime show was fun. Just everything about it was just a good time.
The food was good.
The food was great.
Oh, fuck.
Like,
stuffed.
It's never a bad Super Bowl day. We've been over this.
I really got to say it's in my top 3 of days. I know you said it's your number 1. It's definitely in my top 3.
It's the best day of the year.
Just because it's like a one game.
I feel like, hey,
what if the World Series was like that? Just
that'd be so much cooler.
Yeah, like
they can't
you
could
do so rounds. Even best of 5 series. That'd be cool at this point. And then just the final game is just a one game World Series. That's it.
It makes the game way better. Like,
yeah, it's just the best. That's it. You just send out the boys. Every pitcher's in.
Here's your lineup. Good luck.
If you have 3 studs as starting pitchers, they all show that game, right? Like,
yeah, that's crazy. I think that's a fun idea. It'll never happen, but like that winner take all one game mentality is so much more fun.
Yeah, I've said it time and time again. That's what makes football so fun is that it's like such a small season and such a
every game matters.
Every game matters, exactly. And then even in the playoffs, doesn't matter what position you sit.
Every snap matters.
Exactly. If you go down, that's it. Yeah, it's fucking
crazy.
Great.
It's fun. I had a good time. It was a good game. It's just all around great. I don't really have very many words for it other than good, great, and fun. That's all it was.
That's it. Good, great,
great, and fun. On baseball.
They're
locked out.
On baseball, on Dasher,
on baseball, on football, and that's it.
They just don't do anything. Like, what's the deal?
Well, they're meeting again. Okay, so here's the deal. They went from December to February without talking. They just didn't do anything. Perfect. They're like, let's see which one makes the move first.
Perfect.
Now, this week, the MLB decides, you know what? If we don't get a deal done by Monday, we're missing games this year. And now they're deciding, you know what? Let's take 8 hours a day together to try and get this fucking thing figured out. Why didn't you do this in December?
You know what never
works?
Where
was this before?
You know what never works? Shoving people that don't like each other in a room for 8 hours a day and telling them to figure.
And like Rob Manfred showed up for the first time yesterday. The first time. It's February. The deadline is on Monday.
It's getting serious
Saturday
now when Rob Manfred's in there. So,
oh my God, man! Like I have a little bit of blind optimism on the fact that Rob Manfred is there and they are talking for a long time. I feel like they have a strong chance of getting something done. Whether it happens by Monday or not, I don't know. But the fact that everything seems to be going a little bit better today, and who knows, news could be dropping right now that it's just not going well.
Just fucking business first, man.
Yeah, and it's just it's painful as a baseball fan.
It's totally annoying. Why can't we just watch? Why can't we just have the sport that we
could absolutely enjoy? Start this season?
Absolutely. We should be watching some spring training. We should be watching some prospects get their time. Yeah. I should be getting ready to get my jacket on to go down to Rogers Center.
Absolutely.
In the freezing cold.
With snow still blowing, we should be ready to watch baseball
in the cold. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, after 145 minutes to start the day in their own caucus, league officials just walked over to talk with the players. That's
good.
Wow, that's a long time.
Wow, they walked over. Crazy stuff.
That's insane.
How did they?
The big news this morning was that Jameson Taillon showed up with Starbucks for everyone. I'm like, that was the only piece of information I heard today. It was like, they're meeting at 12. Jameson Tyone brought Starbucks. I'm like, nice. Boy, Jameson.
Just for the players or for the whole association?
I think just the Players Association. Like, here, boys, here's the Starbucks order.
Hey, whoever, he put it on his phone. He was just asking everybody.
This is like group chat, like, hey, boys,
call to confirm.
What do you want?
Can you imagine all the different coffees, especially with that many people?
Guy shows up with a list, like, all right.
Yeah, no thanks.
Here's my scroll. Max wants this. Max is taking a latte. Venti. I'm
half
not very
calf.
good at ordering. Half calf. We're gonna get a half calf. Is there a way we can mix like the regular coffee and mix it with the decaffeinated one?
You can. What's a half calf?
We're gonna get a half calf.
We're gonna have to. I love that movie.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I think when we talked about it was in my top 3.
Yeah, it's just
so many good
movie, but it's fantastic. So many good little lines.
Yeah,
you and Ambrose the team up. You can form like a mega human.
I love when they're playing at tetherball. He's like beating the shit out of him. Having father son. Gets so many welts on him. Yeah, no, that was a good movie. I don't care, man. Will Ferrell can make any movie work. But...
Yeah, it's funny. So thank you, Jameson Tyone, for going to Starbucks to get this meeting started off on the right foot.
You know what? You should come to Toronto when you do your meetings.
Yeah.
So that you can get some Tims, you know?
He's Canadian.
So I'm saying, come to Toronto.
I feel bad, though. A good Canadian boy has to go to Starbucks to get coffee.
He's just treating everybody. Must be nice to have that New York Yankee money,
Starbucks. Yuck.
Doesn't he have that Yankee money?
I don't know if he has the Yankee money, but he has the Yankee jersey. I don't know what he got for contract wise. Obviously, he got a fair amount because he's buying coffees for the entire fucking Players Association.
Derek Ryan has 6 points in the last 6 games.
Actually, right now he's not even signed. So,
really, I thought he was on the Yankees.
Signed a 1-year deal with the Yankees.
Right.
So unless he re-signed, but
now he's a little free agent.
Yeah. He's. Oh no, just kidding. He signed the 2022 deal. Sorry, so $4.5 million he got. So yeah,
damn,
he can buy.
That's low. Why is that so low for baseball?
Wow. So Jesse Rogers, if you're not following Jesse Rogers, you should be because he's really up to date on all this stuff. But he says should mention the players were caucusing as well. Caucusing. In fact, they needed the extra time. Could be some movement on proposals. One would hope. I would absolutely hope. Jesse, thank you. Yeah. So maybe we're close on a deal in the MLB. Maybe not. Hopefully, when we release this episode, it's already out of date because they've signed a deal and 4 guys have already signed contracts.
We will take our time releasing this episode.
Yeah.
Just for
worst case, we have to do like an emergency, like, hey, we did it.
Yeah.
We put it in motion.
We waited long enough. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Now, when they inevitably sign this deal, the Jays have some moves to make. And the one big one, we've already talked about it, but like Freddie Freeman is just like buzzing in Toronto again.
God, please come.
I think it was John Heyman said that like,
please.
The Blue Jays have interest, obviously. Like their name has come up prominently in
everybody has interest.
And it's sounding a lot like he's not going back to Atlanta. Like the rumors are that he's not going back.
If you were going back to Atlanta, you would have already gone. I've said this about so many players. If you were going there, right? For me, it was like I knew Kawhi was gone because if you knew you were going back right away, like why wouldn't you just sign? You know, why are you looking for everything else if you know you're so happy here, right? And that's where Atlanta and him, they didn't do anything, especially after a World Series. Like
and you had so much time before the lockout to sign that deal.
He is an MVP. Yes, he is like your guy. Like when you think of the Atlanta Braves,
he is Atlanta Brave baseball right now.
You thought of him first, right? He was there before the Acuñas, before the Sorokas, the stars of that team. Yes, like so. I don't understand why they could let him walk, especially for nothing, for absolutely nothing.
The fact that he hasn't signed a deal yet with the Braves shows me that he's not going back to the Braves.
You get some sort of compensation. Am I wrong on that? Do you get some sort of compensation?
Yes, because they gave him the qualifying offer, so they got a draft pick for it.
Right. Okay.
Depending on how the CBA goes. So if they decide no in the CBA,
no draft pick is worth Freddie Freeman. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Exactly. That like a lot of people brought up that argument when I tweeted about it too. Like, oh, they have to lose a draft pick. I'm like, I don't care. It's in the compensation round. Like maybe that kid hits, but like maybe the kid in the 8th round hits. Like who knows?
You know what?
Man?
Freddie Freeman hit. That's what I know.
Freddie Freeman can hit now.
Yes.
It's one of those things too. And like it's a big divide in Blue Jays nation right now that like you either really want him or you absolutely despise the idea.
What's wrong with having a surplus at first or having a rotation at third? Like
there's a DH position for a reason.
Another option. Yes, it's so nice to have options, especially with injuries, man. Injuries happen. This is a long season, and we're getting into that point now. If you don't have a contract an agreement right away, you're going to start losing games, which means you're going to just roll into the season. So
you got to be ready to go.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to see Freddie there.
Now, I don't have confirmation on this, but apparently Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s bio still says Blue Jays third baseman. Let me just double check on that. Vladdy Jr. 27. Yeah, it literally still says Toronto Blue Jays third baseman on Instagram.
Perfect.
So like, hey, if he wants to go play third and he's still open to playing third, let him try.
He's the boy.
In the words of Brad Pitt, his fielding does not matter.
It's on base.
He gets on base. Don't make me point at Pete.
When I point to you, you're supposed to say something.
You want me to talk when I point to you?
Yeah.
Don't make me point at Pete.
Gets on base.
Freddie Freeman gets on base.
Freddie Freeman does a lot, man.
Freddie Freeman does a lot. He doesn't more than just get on base.
It's the same thing as when Marcus Semien was there, right? It's another like feared bat. Even if Freddie Freeman is just the attention grabber and everybody else around him is the success, awesome. Fuck, I don't care. But you know what I know about Freddie Freeman is he's a gamer. He'll get in there. Yeah, he's a long ass first baseman. Is he not a Gold Glover? Am I wrong?
I think at one point he was in the mix. I don't know if he ever won one, but
then he's in the mix.
He's a Gold Glove caliber first base.
Exactly. He is Canadian as shit. As far as I'm concerned.
Well,
as far as I'm concerned.
He played for Canada once, so he's Canadian.
I've given him the badge. He's got it. He's good to go. You're good in my books.
He won a Gold Glove in 2018.
Okay.
He won the Silver Slugger in 2019, 2020, and 2021. And he was the MVP in 2020.
So what the fuck are we doing here?
That's what I'm saying.
Why is this? I don't understand why you're divided. Is my question. If you're on the side that's divided, you've lost your marbles because if you're getting an MVP,
you're wrong. Plain and simple. Like, who cares about the defense?
Hey, Bo Bichette played the same position as Marcus Semien, and we figured it out.
They made it work. Okay, I buried the lead here too because one of the biggest new pieces of news that came out was that the Blue Jays have been given the green light to spend a lot of money. And like we're talking like Springer level contracts in this offseason. So they know where their budget is in order to still sign Bo and Vlad. Like they are ready to spend.
It makes it easier for that time that you have to make a decision on some of your up and comers that, you know what, we can't pay them, but we've got Freddie Freeman, you know?
Like I really laugh at the people just like, oh, the money. Well, they know what the money is. They know their situation. If they're ready to go sign Freddie Freeman, they know they can still go get Bo and Vlad.
If we were winning World Series or competing for World Series every single year, I would maybe laugh at this for sure. I would maybe say, you know what, Freddie Freeman just isn't worth it because we're already there, but we're not there. No, so yeah, Freddie Freeman, bring it on. Yeah, I'm a Freddie Freeman away.
They're a Freddie Freeman away from being a World Series champion, honestly. Like plain and simple. Maybe another starter, like a couple little pieces here and there. But like, is Vlad a good third baseman? Who knows? Probably not. Can Vlad play third base in the major leagues? Yes. Can the team succeed with Vlad at third or Freddie at third and the other one at first? Fucking right, yes. Like there's no situation where this seems like a bad idea to me. Like if he plays bad defense, who cares?
They're gonna get a ton of slack defensively. People are going to be like, okay, fine. If we have 8 runs a game and they let 2
they can score 7. I don't mind. Like it's such a moot point, man. It's so stupid.
You also have to be able to hit the ball from the pitcher. So they have a pretty good
rotation's gross.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't get it, man. I think Vlad's going to be fine. I think Vlad's going to be a good third baseman. He looks like he's ripped now. He's not the Vlad. How do you
make the case that Freddie Freeman does not benefit this team? Like how I don't like. You can try for sure. Everybody can message in, let us know because I don't think it outweighs how he could help this team. He would send this team over the top.
I don't know how people argue the money thing when you're not in that room. discussing what the money is.
I think it would be better than signing Marcus Semien. I would be more excited about the upcoming season signing Freddie Freeman than if we signed
Marcus Semien was such a question mark. You had no idea. Freddie Freeman isn't a question mark. He's been a consistently elite hitter for 3 straight years.
You've got the elite of the league. Yes, exactly. And you got an MVP type season from Marcus Semien, which was awesome. So fantastic. You were going to get the same from Freddie Freeman, right? He will be in the top 10 guaranteed because this lineup can't do anything but.
The other thing too,
I fully expect to be back to George Springer. Okay, I fully expect the cobwebs to be shaken out. He's seen some pitches in blue. He's seen some pitchers. He's seen some at bats. Let's go. Let's get it. George Springer, you're the leadoff man now. There's no flipping flopping. It's you. Go get it and go do what you can do, which is like hit 30 to 40 bombs in the fucking leadoff spot. And
just
I love you.
Have forever. 8 straight games with a leadoff home run.
Because you know what? Freddie Freeman's number 2 behind you.
Yep.
So awesome.
It's I don't know. I just melted my brain. Oh, everyone else is like, oh, just get J-Ram instead. Why not both? if you're willing to spend the money on Freeman, J-Ram's cheap. Yeah, it's going to cost you a lot to trade for him. But if you're giving up, like, I don't want to do it because I love him, but if you're giving up a Kevin Biggio with Alejandro Kirk and a couple prospects, you're not taking that much away from your roster if you have Freddie, Vlad, and then you could throw J-Ram at 2 because he's been a second baseman for a good chunk of his career. Yeah. So now you have an infield that consists of Bo Bichette, Jose Ramirez, Vladimir Guerrero, and Freddie Freeman. Like, there's no one better. There's no infield better in the major leagues. Prove me wrong.
You said Jose go to
2
short to 2.
Yeah.
To 2.
Can he play 2? Yeah, he's played 2. He rotated around that infield for like the first 6 years of his career. Okay. He's just been there now because they didn't have another option.
Right.
But like he can like, and then you could just rotate it through. Like when Vlad needs a day off at third because his defense is struggling, put him at the DH spot, put Ramirez over to third, and then put Espinal back on 2. Like your defense won't struggle then. Like, you lose a bit of power with Espinal on the thing, but like you have the ability to make a good, you have the ability to make a good defensive lineup. And you have Freddie Freeman and Jose Ramirez.
So get Freddie Freeman. Yeah, no.
Like Jose Ramirez costs you like 10 cents right now.
Let's build this fantasy roster. I'm in. Let's do it. Spend it all. Do something that we've never done before.
Why not?
I want a World Series.
Why not?
I want one. I'm in.
I don't know.
I'm in. I'm hungry. I'm literally hungry, and I'm hungry for a World Series. Fucking get me both.
I'm here for it. Do it.
Give me both.
Do it. Why not? Could you imagine pulling in fucking both of them?
Oh. No. It would be.
I don't think it's possible, but
it would be Dodger type of moves.
You look like the Yankees of 2009.
Exactly.
Like,
can you imagine any other way to just tell the Yankees and the Red Sox,
hey, we're here?
Yeah, exactly. Then getting both of the guys that everyone kind of puts, like the Jays of that team that has their name in everybody and doesn't get them,
and then they
all
get
of a sudden the Jays get them.
That's all they do is get them.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah,
we're here. We're dedicated.
So here
Let's do it.
I'm so here for it. Pull them both in.
Get
Carlos Rodon on a 1-year deal.
Hopefully, he stays healthy. Listening.
Just do some fun. Let's just do some fun shit.
Marky Mark.
When this deal gets signed in 20 minutes, because it just will, and we know it will.
And we broke it.
Yeah.
No, you heard it here first.
My sources are telling me.
We're delaying this for the start of the season. Yeah, but when they sign a deal,
they've been in there for 12 minutes now, and there's been no new news. So I don't know if that's good news or bad news. But
I'll be sitting at the edge of my seat then.
Me too. All right, well, I guess that's it.
I think that's good. I think with a lot of sports being off, in a weird way.
Yeah, we really didn't miss much
because they were in the All-Star break, and like we said, it doesn't really matter.
No.
Team LeBron. I think LeBron's 8-0 in the All-Star games. Good for you. 7-0. Yeah, he's undefeated. I know that.
Nice.
And he's openly said now that he wants to play with his son, which that's
cool.
We've said for years.
Oh, we should.
We've said for years. You know what I mean? Okay, but we've said it for years and years and years.
But like
nobody in the NBA has done it, and he's close enough to do it, and he'll be good enough to do it.
Bronny's not really that good.
It doesn't matter.
So no, this is my thinking though. Is if you're a team, if LeBron is still what LeBron is when Bronny gets drafted. Are you drafting Bronny way earlier than you should because you get LeBron?
No, but here's the thing. Okay, if you could take that risk for sure, but then you're risking a pick of the next 3 years plus salary.
But if you're in that 20 to 30 range in the picks, are you you know what? LeBron James would really help this team You would draft
You're,
Bronny.
you're almost like redrafting LeBron James, you know?
Yeah, kind of. Like a very short term LeBron James, obviously. Like it's only going to be a 1 year thing, but like,
right.
I might take that risk. If I'm picking 23rd, if I'm the Raptors at 23rd or something, I'm kind of like, Bronny's not going to help this team. LeBron James is definitely going to help this team.
I think it's going to cause complete chaos, more chaos than when he said he's going to Miami. I think this is going to cause way more attention because of that. You're absolutely right, because you get both now, and you know that.
Yeah.
So if you draft one, you draft the other, and that's, I think, what the best part is. Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're a team that's willing enough, but you also have to have the cap space. I don't think LeBron just going somewhere to go somewhere.
He might to play with his kid.
Just for like what, a year? Like then any of the top.
Well, he doesn't need the money. He's got $1 billion deal.
Then fucking Nike. Draft him first overall. It doesn't matter. LeBron James and his kid and whoever else you have going on. If you get LeBron James on a 1 year veterans minimum deal. If
you're that team that's drafting first overall, you're not good enough to just take LeBron and win a championship. But like if you're in that, you don't know that.
You could have a fluke. Know that. You could have a fluke year.
You think if you added. Who picked for it? Was the Magic that picked first this year, right?
Believe so. No, Magic picked Jalen.
Oh yeah, right. It
was like
who the fuck got Cade?
Detroit.
The Pistons, wasn't it? Yeah. You think if you added LeBron James to the Pistons, they would be a championship team?
Both LeBrons? Hell yeah.
No. Like I think once you, I would like to know where the threshold is of like.
Don't you doubt Dwayne Casey? Don't you dare do that to Dwayne Casey. You put
if he played the Raptors 82 games a year, they'd go 82-0. So it is what it is. I don't know. I'd like to see where the threshold of like what pick would decide, you know what, LeBron James.
I think he's gonna go as a lottery pick because there is that little bit of enticement, of we get both. Because if you're a lottery team, you're still kind of a competitive team, and maybe you do believe that you are those two away. Okay.
It's not those two. Bronny's not good enough to matter.
Hey, I think he's got a year or two. Yeah. I think he comes in next year, is it?
And just like goes on the Russian doping program. Who knows, and gets better.
Yeah, LeBron.
Maybe talk to that figure skater girl and see how she did it.
LeBron is your dad. That's all I'm gonna say.
LeBron is his dad. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a real interesting situation.
I think that's where we leave it as LeBron.
Yeah, it's a long way away.
LeBron is his dad. We're stating facts on this podcast.
LeBron is his dad. Bronny is LeBron's son.
They're going to play together.
They both play basketball. And
do you care to make a guess right now? No.
Oh, guess for what? Where he goes?
As to who it would be. Yeah, just a random guess.
It's 2 years away, right?
I believe so. I think he's eligible in 2023 draft.
Okay, so not this draft, but the next draft?
I think so.
So who's a team like that's like close but not great right now? Like it's like I don't know. The Raptors are kind of that team, but I don't think the Raptors will do it.
I honestly,
Cleveland, bro, Cleveland. It's gonna be Cleveland.
No,
there's no way it's not because like they're not good enough to win a championship. But like, if you add LeBron to that team,
so he's eligible for the 2023 NBA draft. I think that they will both be Charlotte Hornets.
No, they're both going to be
where Michael Jordan.
Michael
Jordan owns the team, and
in the most fantasy situation possible, LeBron and Jordan on the same team in very different roles.
The storyline writes itself. What do you mean? If LeBron James can go and choose his son's team, then MJ can come back in and shoot a ball. Okay, I guarantee that he'll be the Jackie Moon.
He's way too big now. He's Shaq size. It's not going to work.
You trying to tell me he's not a shooter still?
No way. I think he goes back to Cleveland where it all began with his kid to begin his kid's career in Cleveland for the first 2 years, and then he gets shipped out to the Europe. I think it's Cleveland. I think it just makes the most sense in my eyes. Because Cleveland's close enough that, like, you know what? Maybe LeBron pushes them over the edge, especially in 2 years. In 2 years, Cleveland could be a team that thinks that LeBron pushes them over the edge.
I think Cleveland's going to be too good to get him out of there.
Maybe.
I think somebody's going to be more desperate than that. I'm sticking with my Charlotte. I'm sticking with my MJ. MJ being MJ, and just
I think
what else brings attention to that team?
Yeah, I think it's Cleveland.
Okay.
It just makes sense. They're building a LeBron museum in Akron.
Bookmark this for years to come.
I think that's going to open the LeBron museum is when he comes back to Cleveland with his son Bronny and like the draft picture is like on the front door.
Poor
like
people
two of them standing there.
Poor people who have bought jerseys, burned jerseys, bought jerseys, burned jerseys, are now gonna have to buy jerseys.
They've spent so much money on jerseys because they're angry and then in love with LeBron.
And I know I'm talking about the majority of you Cleveland fans who have bought jerseys, burned jerseys, bought jerseys, and burned jerseys again, and now you'll be forced to buy jerseys. And not one.
When he comes back,
you will buy two because there will be two James on the team.
Yeah. What number does Bronny wear?
Probably 32.
Do you think they go 23 and 6? I think that'd be really funny.
Oh, well, really? That'd be okay. Maybe he writes his own. He writes his own.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be his dad, right?
No, I don't know.
That's why he's not any good. He doesn't want to be his dad.
Does he? Does he not want to be as good?
I don't know. Maybe not. I would want to be as good as LeBron James, even if I'm his kid, but I'm obviously not his kid, so I don't know.
What are his stats right now? I don't even know his stats.
He's averaging like 5 points in high school right now. Like he's like a junior in high school, and he's just not doing well.
What do you mean? He's like he's a 4-star. He's 43rd overall, and I think that's more because of name. He's got offers from Duke.
Oh
no, from Kentucky. Kentucky did offer one.
Okay.
I don't know what he's getting. Player news.
It just says his last name is James.
I know. So you get. I don't think the universities understand they don't get LeBron James.
They're like, hey, if we pick up this kid, maybe LeBron will come back to college.
We could have
he has eligibility still.
We could have a senior player, right? He never went. So yeah, absolutely.
He never went to university, so he could go back.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know how that works.
I gotta look up stats. I gotta see what he's doing. Like I've not heard much about him, so I'm not gonna lie to you.
All I've heard is that he's not very good right now.
Okay, so he's averaging in 6 games. He has 6.8 points. No, he's a freshman right now.
Oh, he's a freshman. I heard he's a junior.
Or no. Okay, no, you're right. Yeah, that was 1920. So is that it? Did they not get to play the other seasons because of the COVID world?
Oh, you know what? That probably has a lot to do with it. Yeah.
So he has 6 games. He has 6.8 points. Ooh. And 0.3 rebounds. He's scored 41 total points in his illustrious career.
ESPN does have him as an 85 grade.
Yeah,
which I think is kind of funny. But he's not a 5-star. He's not even a 5-star high school prospect. So that's a little. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Tell.
Yep.
I'm ready. Bring it on. Ready for father-son action.
It's gonna be fun.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for hanging on.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Follow us on Twitter at BNB_Brand and BNB_Brandon. And the podcast is at EHBNB Pod. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, not Facebook though, because Facebook's a hellhole. Visit the website for merch. I got new merch.
Wow. I like it.
Yeah. We got new merch at theasports.com. We got all sorts of content going on there. Thank you for listening. We will hopefully catch you sometime this week or next week or whenever we decide.
We'll
cheers. Yeah. Cheers.